Welcome to the Parent Guide, helping your teen overcome pornography addiction. I'm your host, Matt Bulkley, a psychotherapist who spent the past 25 years working with teens and families, navigating the challenges of pornography addiction. This podcast is for you parents who are searching for answers, hope, and practical steps to help your teen break free from addiction and rebuild a healthier future. Today, we're diving into an all-important and critical topic. How do you know when your teen struggle with pornography addiction requires a more intensive intervention like a residential program such as Star Guides? I spend 2 days a week in the Star Guides field, Mondays and Thursdays, working with teens in this transformative program. And over the past 12 years, since 2013, we've helped in the range of 700 teens find freedom from pornography addiction. And of all the programs I've been a part of, Star Guides is dearest to my heart because it has had the most impact and changed the life direction of so many teens. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, powerless, or unsure about what to do next, wondering if your teen needs a more intensive intervention, then this episode is for you. We'll walk through the signs that a residential program might be necessary, what makes Star Guides unique, and how it can help your teen and your family find a path to healing. So take a deep breath and let's get started. As a parent, discovering that your teen is struggling with pornography addiction can feel like the ground's being pulled out from under you. It's heartbreaking, confusing, sometimes even isolating, and more so when it feels like nothing is helping. You might have tried everything: outpatient therapy, counseling sessions, maybe even at-home programs like the Recovery Toolbox and our Breaking Free curriculum. But sometimes those efforts just aren't enough. So how do you know when it's time to consider something more intensive like a residential program? So let's break down the key signs that might indicate that your teen needs this level of care. First, let's talk about when outpatient or less intensive interventions aren't working. To clarify, if your teen continues to experience relapses but is showing efforts to be honest, accountable, is willing to continue an outpatient treatment, and is trying, then it is still a workable situation. Contrasted that with maybe your teen has been in therapy or you've implemented rules and boundaries at home, but the addictive behaviors keep resurfacing. And if you've given it due diligence and time and relapses are happening, along with your teen's pattern of deceit, sneakiness, and lying continuing, and they're resistant to treatment, feels like you're stuck in this loop, this is a sign that your teen might need a more structured, immersive environment to break the cycle of addiction. Second, and this one's critical, safety concerns. If your teen's addiction is leading to behaviors that put themselves or others at risk, it's a red flag. This could look like acting out sexually towards siblings or peers, engaging in risky online behaviors like sharing explicit content, talking to strangers, attempting to meet up with people they've met online, putting themselves at risk of being sexually exploited, or even intertwining addiction with self-harm or suicidal thoughts or behaviors, which sometimes occurs as an addiction takes hold. These are serious mental health and safety issues that require immediate professional intervention to protect your teen and those around them. Now, a common profile for Star Guides is a teen who has developed a porn addiction over time and has developed a pattern of deceit and secrecy surrounding the porn addiction. And then the porn addiction has moved into a pattern of sexual acting out. And then this combination charges up mental health issues of depression, anxiety, dysregulated emotion, sometimes suicidality and self-harm behaviors. Third, you might feel powerless to influence your teen. And this one hits hard for so many parents. You've tried talking, setting boundaries, offering guidance, but your teen seems completely resistant to change. It's like your words aren't getting through. They continue to lie, cover up, manipulate, break rules. And when you no longer have any influence as a parent, it makes it nearly impossible to have the capacity to disrupt the addictive process. That resistance can be heartbreaking, but it's also a signal that a residential program with its structured environment and expert clinicians might be able to reach them in ways that are tough to achieve at home. And that an important part of the treatment process is recalibrating that parent-child dynamic and helping to reinsert you as the parent back into their life with influence. And then finally, your teen might lack the motivation to change. Some teens don't yet see the harm in their addiction or feel ready to stop. They might minimize it or push back against your concerns. They may have developed a superficial sense of control and invulnerability and are living a life of denial and avoidance and discounting any attempt on your part to wake them up to the problems. They are in what the stages of change model that we covered in a previous episode refers to as pre-contemplative. Now, a program like Star Guides is designed to help them confront the consequences of their actions in a safe, therapeutic way, sparking the internal motivation that they need to start their recovery journey. So if any of these signs resonate you're probably wondering, well, what's next? How do I help my teen? Well, that's where Star Guides comes in. And I want to take some time to walk you through what makes Star Guides so effective. So Star Guides is a premier residential treatment program specifically designed for teens struggling with pornography addiction and its accompanying other problematic behaviors. And we founded Star Guides in 2012. Self, Dr. Daniel Sanderson, and Kenneth Fry. And for the 10 years prior to that, we had been working in another wilderness therapy program and had started seeing more and more teens struggling with pornography addiction and realized the need for a program that was specifically treating pornography addiction and its accompanying behaviors. And we recognized the incredible venue of a wilderness setting for this to occur as we could assure a complete disruption of the pornography addiction, being completely unplugged, offline, technology-free, off the grid, but also able to utilize the wilderness setting and the demands of learning to live in a primitive setting for helping teens to develop resilience and new and improved coping skills at the same time. And all of this over the space of about a 3 to 4 month period of time, which is about the length of time that it takes for the brain to recalibrate, disrupting old neural pathways, starting to regrow gray matter, reset the dopamine systems, and implement new healthy habits and coping mechanisms. So for the past 12 years, Star Guides has been recognized as one of the most transformative programs in the country. And I've seen firsthand why it works. So let me paint you a picture of what Star Guides offers and why it is so unique. First and foremost, Star Guides provides a technology-free environment. The average length of stay is right in that 4-month range, 120 days. The length of stay varies as it is effort-based, meaning the more committed the teen is to change and to progress, the faster they move through the program requirements towards program completion. So on the continuum, anywhere from the fastest is about 2 months, and then we've had clients that have been in the program for upwards of a year. Now, unplug means no phones, no computers, no access to pornography or the internet. This digital detox is a game changer. In today's world, teens are constantly bombarded by online triggers, social media apps, pop-up ads. It's nearly impossible to keep teens off technology for an extended period of time or in any other way. Removing those distractions allows your teen to focus entirely on healing. Instead of turning to a screen to cope with stress or boredom, negative emotions, they learn healthier ways to navigate life's challenges. Many teens have never lived a day in their life without dependence of some type of technology, which has led to stagnated emotional coping and has stunted their capacity to manage and regulate emotions. And really, the technology has functioned as a maladaptive form of coping. But it's not just about taking away technology. It's about what happens in that space. Star Guides is set in the remote high desert wilderness of Southwest Utah, and there's something incredibly powerful about that setting. Wilderness therapy strips away the noise of modern life, social media, gaming, material possessions, and reveals who your teen is at their core. We call this developing an authentic identity. So many teens today miss out on discovering their true selves because they're tethered to technology or external validation, hiding behind their online avatar. In the wilderness, living simply with just the essentials, they get to confront their strengths and their weaknesses and emotions in a raw and honest way. And research backed this up. Studies from Journal of Experiential Education show that nature-based therapy amplifies emotional breakthroughs compared to traditional office settings. So picture your teen having therapy sessions, sitting next to a campfire or under the desert's juniper and pine trees. That setting fosters honesty and self-reflection in a way that's hard to replicate in a therapist's office. It's a reset from tech overload and the societal noise, giving your teen the space to dig deep and to heal. This is why I love my Mondays and Thursdays, because my office is the shade of a pine tree or sitting in front of a small fire during the cold months. And let's talk about the therapy itself, because that is the heart of Star Guides. The program offers comprehensive approach with individual, group, and family therapy, all woven together to address the addiction and its root causes. In individual therapy, your teen meets with a licensed therapist twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, right out in the field. These sessions are where they process their addiction, the underlying trauma or emotional triggers and roadblocks that have led to the formation of the addiction. This is where we evaluate the harmful behaviors that have damaged trust in relationships. And we work on resetting the dynamics of the parent-child relationship. The wilderness setting makes these conversations more open and vulnerable. I've seen teens who were closed off at home or in an outpatient office setting start to open up and share things that they've never told anyone, simply because the environment feels safe and distraction-free. Then there's group therapy, which happens every day with peers in their treatment group and trained field instructors. Sessions are structured to tackle real-time issues, conflict or emotional barriers, or group issues that they're experiencing. Your teen will share their story, things like their autobiography, parent narratives, the family dynamics, and hear from others, which builds insight into relationships and communication. So according to the American Group Psychotherapy Association, group therapy helps teens develop problem-solving skills and trust, which are critical for lasting change. It fosters vulnerability and accountability, helping your teen see that they're not alone in their struggles. The treatment group becomes a laboratory for helping them to analyze their social skills, their patterns with getting along with others, teaches them to see the value in real relationships. And parents, you're not left out. Family therapy is a cornerstone of Star Guides. You'll have weekly sessions with your teen's therapist where you'll collaborate on how to communicate with your teen based on their progress. You'll participate in a bi-weekly parent support group with other parents that have teens in the program and build a camaraderie and a support system with them. Now, as your teen moves through the program, you will eventually join family therapy sessions via Zoom, thanks to Starlink technology that we use in the field. The first half of the program, your communication with your teen is in written correspondence before you begin family therapy via Starlink. And you'll be completing assignments of your own, including drafting comprehensive history of your teen's life and what we call parent narratives, which helps them connect the dots regarding how the progression of their addiction led to their current life circumstances. Now, 3 times a year in March, June, and September, we host parent seminars here in St. George, and you'll get training at our office and then out in the field, and you'll join your teen for an in-the-field, face-to-face family therapy session, along with participating in what we call the solstice and equinox events. And at the end of the program, you're invited to an overnight field experience where you camp with your teen and in a final in-person family therapy session and a graduation group. Research from Family Process shows that family involvement significantly boosts treatment outcomes. And so the parent role is vital in the teen's recovery process. So let's talk about the skills development curriculum, because this is where Star Guides really shines. The program is built around a 6-phase approach that blends therapeutic work with wilderness skills for a full mind-body reset. Your teen will work through tasks like writing their autobiography, creating a trauma timeline and processing traumatic past events, building resilience, creating a sexual history, and completing the Breaking Free curriculum. All of these tools are grounded in cognitive behavioral therapy principles, is supported by the Journal of Clinical Psychology. They'll also lead group sessions and connect with you through letters and family work, and then eventually family therapy via Zoom on Starlink. Now, on the wilderness side of things, they'll master practical skills like bow drill fire, shelter construction, plant and constellation identification, primitive trap making, mastery of knots and navigation, and a lot of hiking through some of the most beautiful terrain that southern Utah has to offer as the groups move camp several times per week. And these aren't just survival skills. These are metaphors for recovery. When a teen learns to build a fire from scratch with the Bodro fire set, they're also learning perseverance, self-efficacy, and discovering that they are capable of accomplishing hard things that require real effort. There's no faking it. There's no cheating. There's no avoiding. Clinical evidence from wilderness therapy outcome studies shows that this combination of therapy and skill building reduces the risk of relapse by fostering a sense of purpose and confidence. Additionally, the experience utilizes a holistic approach focusing on key wellness aspects that enhance physical and mental health, crucial for recovery, that contributes to addiction recovery. First would be nutrition. When it comes to metabolic and the mental health connection, Star Guides emphasizes a nutrition-dense food diet that includes fresh vegetables and fruits, a dietitian-approved menu that avoids ultra-processed foods, which are associated with obesity, diabetes, depression, anxiety, substance use disorders. The clients learn about nutrition and develop cooking skills by preparing all of their own meals with staff support. And this fosters an appreciation for clean eating, which helps to reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression and supporting emotional stability during recovery. So we have found that this improved diet compared to what they've eaten previously stabilizes moods, reduces cravings, and enhances overall physical health, creating stronger foundation for overcoming addiction. So there's a big focus on hydration that clients consume in the range of 4 quarts of water per day, depending on the season. 3 quarts during the winter months, 4 quarts during the summer months, and addressing the past neglect of the concept of hydration. Proper hydration supports metabolic health, prevents mistaking thirst for hunger, improves physical performance, temperature regulation, energy levels, digestion, skin health. Hydration also enhances cognition, mood, sleep quality, reduces headaches, all of which are critical for maintaining focus and emotional resiliency in recovery. So by improving energy, mood, and cognitive function, hydration helps clients stay engaged in therapy, reduces the physical discomfort that could trigger relapse. And the thing about hydration is that we literally document the 3 or the 4 quarts of water per day. It's not an on your honor thing. It becomes just a part of the daily structure. So next would be exercise. Program includes hiking, yoga, stretching, numerous outdoor tasks ranging from fire building to shelter setup, which goes way beyond the CDC's recommendation for 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity daily for adolescents. So we all know exercise boosts brain health by releasing endorphins, dopamine, reduces anxiety, depression, cognitive decline, supports heart health, bone and muscle strength, weight control, lowers the risks of diabetes and certain cancers. This strong emphasis on regular exercise is such a key to reducing stress and cravings, improving mood, and enhancing self-esteem, which we know are so vital for sustaining recovery and replacing addictive behaviors. And then there's rest. Clients at Star Guides achieve between 8 and 10 hours of sleep nightly, as recommended by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, and supported by consistent pre-bedtime routines. Obviously, they're consuming no caffeine or electronics in the field. And after a physically tiring day, to be able to sleep in a cool, dark, and quiet environment helps with the sleep process. Adequate sleep supports physical, emotional, cognitive development, reducing depression, anxiety, all of which contribute to addictive patterns. Good quality sleep improves mood, cognitive function, and emotional regulation. And then, of course, sunlight. We have no shortage of sunlight in Star Guides. We enjoy 300 plus sunny days in southern Utah. Sunlight provides vitamin D and serotonin, strengthens bones, blood cells, the immune system. Sunlight helps with sleep, with energy, relaxation. Studies show it reduces depression. We do take precaution with sunscreen and full-brimmed hats to ensure safety from the UV. But we do believe being outdoors and in the sunlight is part of what aids in recovery. And then finally, when it comes to the social engagement aspects of the experience, clients reside in a small group setting between 6 and 8 students with 4 staff, and everything is face-to-face interaction as it's technology-free. Clients engage in constant direct communication. Social interaction helps to reduce stress, anxiety, depression, improves cognitive function, And as we know, strong social bonds combat loneliness and isolation, which are huge triggers for relapse with pornography. And meanwhile, in that treatment group setting, communication skills are vastly improved, which are so important for sustaining a recovery. So StarGuide's wellness-focused approach addresses physical, emotional, social dimensions of recovery from pornography addiction. These are all areas that teens have typically neglected or at least not prioritized prior to coming to the program. So with a focus on nutrition, hydration, exercise, sleep, sunlight, social engagement, all of these variables help to stabilize mental health, reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, and build resilience. And the structure helps clients to replace addictive behaviors with healthy habits, which enhances emotional regulation, creates a sense of purpose and community. So many clients set goals to continue engaging in these habits once they leave. So how does all of this actually help your teen break free from pornography addiction? Well, it's about disrupting the addiction cycle and putting the teen into a spot where they have to become resilient and begin to develop coping skills without a dependency on an escape. And Star Guides provides a safe and structured space where they can confront their behaviors, take accountability, and build a foundation for lasting change. Star Guides doesn't just focus on stopping the addiction, it digs deeper to understand why your teen turned to pornography in the first place. We often discover that it was driven by several variables ranging from childhood trauma, early exposure to porn as a young child, depression, anxiety, stress, loneliness, feelings of inadequacy, or even boredom. Through intensive therapy, skills development training, and structured activities, they process those emotions, build resilience, and develop healthier coping skills. And the results speak for themselves. At Star Guides, we use a clinical assessment tool called the YOQ, the Youth Outcome Questionnaire, to measure mental health distress, where a lower score means less distress. Now, a clinically significant drop is 13 points. And our data shows that when teens arrive, the parent rate the distress at an average score of 98. And by the time they graduate, that score has dropped to 24, massive 74-point improvement. And after graduation, as teens transition to less controlled settings, the score may rise slightly into the low 50s on average and stabilize there throughout the next year. So this shows not only the immediate impact of the program, but also its lasting benefits, even as teens navigate the challenges of returning home back into a non-controlled setting. Now, the impact is evident in our alumni, our graduates. We have sponsored an annual alumni event for the past 6 years, where we invite graduates to return to the field during the summer for several days to tell their story to current clients, to participate in adventure and leadership skills, and to re-experience just a little bit of their journey to change. Most will say that Star Guides was the hardest and the most demanding experience of their life, but also the most impactful and life-changing, and they're glad for the experience. And we've had many former clients who have returned to work as adults as staff in the program. For you as a parent, Star Guides offers hope. During the treatment process, you'll gain insights into your teen struggles. You'll learn how to create a supportive home environment and work together to rebuild stronger, healthier relationships. Through weekly family therapy and parent-specific assignments, you're equipped to be a part of their recovery journey every step of the way. So if you're hearing this and thinking, this sounds like my teen and my situation, here's how to take action. Step 1, assess your teen's needs. Reflect on the signs that we've discussed today. Are there safety risks like acting out or reckless online behavior? Is your teen resistant to change or lacking motivation? Have you lost any influence as a parent in your teen's life? Do you feel stuck despite trying outpatient care and it seems like nothing else has worked? These are strong indicators that a residential program like Star Guides could be the right step. Step 2, contact Star Guides. Visit starguides.net to learn more about the program and the admissions process. The admissions team there can guide you through an assessment to determine if it's the right fit for your teen. They'll answer your questions and walk you through what to expect. Step 3, explore other options if you're not ready for residential level care. If you're still unsure, consider starting with the at-home or outpatient resources like the Recovery Toolbox, Breaking Free curriculum that we've discussed in previous episodes. And you can find more information about that on the therapyassociates.net website. You can pick up the recovery toolbox for teens on the therapyassociates.net website. But if safety concerns or resistance persist, don't hesitate to explore residential level treatment as Star Guides. So watching your teen struggle with pornography addiction can feel incredibly isolating, but I want you to hear this, that you're not alone and there is hope. A program like Star Guides is designed to meet your teen where they are, giving them the tools to overcome addiction, to build a healthier future. As a parent, your love and commitment are powerful. And by taking the first step, whether it's exploring Star Guides or starting with an at-home or an outpatient intervention, you're showing your teen that recovery is possible and that you're in their corner every step of the way. And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with the thought. Helping your teen overcome pornography addiction is a journey, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed. What matters is that you're here seeking answers and taking action. Programs like Star Guides exist to support you and your teen, offering a path to healing that's grounded in research, compassion, and real results. If this episode has resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you. Visit starguides.net for more information about Star Guides, or therapyassociates.net for more about outpatient services and the recovery toolbox for teens, which you can find in the bookstore on the link in the website. And let us know what challenges you're facing or what support that you need. Your feedback helps us create episodes that address your real world questions. And if you found this helpful, please share the podcast with other parents who might need this guidance. That's all for today's episode of Parent Guide, helping your teen overcome pornography addiction. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being the kind of parent who's fighting for your teen's future. I'm Matt Bulkley, and I'll be back with more tools, insights, and hope in our next episode. Until then, take care and know that you've got this.